Chapter 308. Instruction. Rebellion. When, after this operation of destruction, the news of it spread to the scattered ore works, the workmasters were horrified, and immediately sent delegates to Fungar Helen's camp to ask him, with due honours, what this terrible event meant. And Fungar Helen informed them of the true God, and showed them that all idolatry would now be destroyed, because otherwise the old, true God would inevitably bring the judgment he had threatened from ancient times upon all creatures of the earth, since all idolatry was an abomination of abominations before him, the eternally true God alone. And when the Fungar Helen himself had explained this to the deputies, only then did Mahal also exhort these very deputies to turn back to God, and how they should proclaim this to their ore-work masters under the harshest threat of inevitable judgment, and also faithfully report to them how they will find grace before God again if they turn to Him, and how He will spare them judgment. After this instruction, the deputies returned and faithfully reported all this to their masters. But they began to curse and scold them violently and said, "Just look at the whims of the great ones. For every finger length they give different laws and different gods. What has it cost this king to erect all these temples? What a fuss has been made in the whole great empire, and what a miraculous noise from all sides. Now the whole thing has lasted barely 10 years. And that's it, because it has certainly brought in too little, and because the great ones can no longer spare the gold and silver that has accumulated in the temples during this period. Now it's the old, futile God's turn again, for he does not need temples and also no money. And this for the reason that he exists nowhere and is nothing. Yes, he does not even need in the very least a costly picture of himself, because he is nothing, but only needs to be thought of as a god from thin air. Watch out! This year the temples will be destroyed and the old thought god will be reintroduced. But next year the tax messengers will appear again and will certainly demand a very heavy tribute from us in the name of the king. It is a real devil's life in this world. Can these big loafers on earth not consume their best roast in a continuing peace and order? Must there always be some kind of scheming going on? The moment we have some quietness, then all of a sudden from somewhere a hungry scammer of a prophet appears, equipped with some magic tricks and some smooth-faced whores. And this guy then begins haphazardly, quite boldly, to play a tune for the big fools, and these donkeys at once start dancing accordingly. But now they can eat the dirt from our arseholes. We will not be their fools any more. And even more so are we shitting on the vain old God's threatened judgment. We, therefore, will remain what we are. And who does not want to join us can join whoever he wants. We will not interfere with him. He only should move to those whom he has joined. This decision was the fruit of the proclamation of the true God to the many trade masters. The fruits of the next operation will be shown next.